Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So I just want to thank all of you for subscribing, for your likes and comments. I really appreciate all of your feedback, validating a lot of the conclusions that I've already come to in regards to these military programs. I know that by me providing certain information, it might make people feel uncomfortable, and it also might have them question who and what they believe. But I am not here to provide any type of misinformation. This video is for entertainment purposes only, but I would not put content on my channel unless I was almost like 110% confident that it was the correct information. And this brings me to a lot of the disinformation campaigns that have been going on throughout the megas and Trump's base, which is all by design. And I want to put this out there for all of you who don't believe that Trump or Elon is involved in any of this. They have put billions of dollars into their image and to cleaning any evidence or ties to these crimes up. And you need to understand that that's a whole other wheelhouse of money and business, is the cover-ups. So with that in mind, if you guys are new here, I definitely suggest that you check out part 1 and 2 first, because a lot of this content might not make a whole lot of sense to you. And I will make sure to put all those links in the description box below. So let's see, where do I start off? Since I already went into the cover-ups, let me talk about the cover-up operations. I have been, I guess, shown, told, seen over the course of 3+ years, which is how long I have had this device hooked up to my biology through what I believe is an implant and several chipping systems. I have had at times up to 10 cover-up teams, and now to this day, because I have come forward with more information, I have up to 20 cover-up teams. So what does that mean? It means that these are really deep-seated, deep state operations. So it means that there will be one cover-up team, and then there's another team covering them, another team covering. So I just want to let you know how deep it goes. And active duty military is involved in the human trafficking programs on U.S. soil. I am confident in that because I have seen them. So you could imagine being a victim of these MK Ultra programs if you are, in fact, climbing up the military ranks because you are earning those ranks and stars, potentially moving into the military ranks of a general. This is going to be a direct threat and opposition to the deep state military operations. So as I mentioned in part 2, you are simultaneously going through the MK Ultra trafficking programs on top of working for your own country. And there is nothing clean about this. Nothing. Let's back this up a little bit. If you are put into a trafficking program, and it's being covered up through the military, how would you ever get out of the trafficking program? For example, if you are reporting this to trafficking agencies, they are coming up against the same teams. Any type of law enforcement, they are coming up against the same teams. They in turn would become targeted by professional black operations. There's a lot of money that goes into these programs. Now, at the time that I was put into the specific MK Ultra program where I was around military, they were working on what I believe now is called the metaverse. You can look up the metaverse. It is connected to Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, and several banks, financial institutions have been quoted on working on their long-term financial assets through the metaverse. I believe I was a lab rat for the building of this metaverse, and I believe I still am. And with being a lab rat for that 5D reality, so to speak, I was part of all of the chipping technology. I believe I was a beta lab rat for Neuralink, linked to Elon. And because I have psychic abilities, in turn, connecting to this type of 3D, 5D animatrix system technology, I saw things I probably should not have seen. I was privy to the key players involved. I was privy to a lot of information. And on top of that, as mentioned before, I found myself in some pretty dark places linked to some of the most evilest dictators of the world, i.e. Vladimir Putin. Now, there has been a lot of money put into the disinformation campaigns around Trump's ties to Russia, and you can read on Rod Rosenstein and that he blocked investigations into any type of personal or financial ties between Donald Trump and Russia during the Trump presidency, and that's very significant. Now, if any of you have read any parts of the Mueller report, there are specific details that can put together more of the pieces. And there is also an unredacted copy of the Mueller report that the public has yet to gain full access to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe some of the redacted parts were revealed, but not all of them. And I have gotten messages that there is a lot more information that we are missing. I just heard buried. Okay, so it's been buried. Now, I believe as part of this metaverse, the investors involved in it are connected to these dictators. And I believe that Bill Gates and his programmers were also connected to the infiltration of the US military portals. Why do I believe that? There was a notorious meeting between Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Gates. I can't exactly remember if it was like 2018, 2019, but there was a meeting between the two. I am a psychic reader. I'm a medium. I was reading on politics. I was reading on this administration heavily, and I kept picking up that it was something to do with a firewall type of system that no one could ever break into, that they would be developing a military-grade firewall that no one would be able to get into. And the more I was reading on it, it felt like it was going around the US military system in some way. And so now that I'm even saying that out loud, it makes a lot of sense, because I felt like when I got pushed into this metaverse system, I was in the military portals, I felt like I couldn't get to the right people because I was surrounded by crime networks. So I think this might be why I have to do these videos, because I have to get the information out, because I am a direct link and firsthand witness to all of the crimes and to all of the players. And I'm also going through and seeing things that I don't think a lot of people have information on. Now, just by me saying that, that's probably silly, because that could endanger me potentially. But this stage in the game, they all know who I am and I know who they are. And it's just a matter of getting the information out to the correct people at this point, because we have to get the truth to the light. That is the only way we will ever be able to align on U.S. soil, is to get every part of this puzzle to the light. Now, when you look at technology companies, what they're working on and developing, they're working hand in hand with foreign monies. And that births essentially cryptocurrency. So we also did see that come to the forefront as well during the Trump presidency. Crypto means dark, okay? It is connected to something dark. And as on top of trying to figure out the MK Ultra programs, I've also been trying to uncover the connection between the human DNA, biohacking, human hacking, connected to the crypto miners. Because I believe there is something connected to the DNA and why these companies have suddenly wanted to invest and purchase DNA from 23andMe and Ancestry.com. So just real quick to just touch on that, Pfizer CEO has come forward and he had stated boldly that he was working on a 5-year population reduction plan with many others. And their goal was to reduce the population by, I want to say, 80%. He also mentioned in that same interview that he was working with gene editing companies. And I believe that that is directly connected to hacking the human mind and part of taking from us, stealing from us biologically, and selling it off on a black market, which is, again, part of the trafficking programs linked to these operations. I specifically researched today what gene partner that Pfizer was working with, and it came up as Beam. And then immediately I saw Bill Barr connected to Project Bluebeam. I have seen Bill Barr connected to this project for years, okay? This is information that the Trump administration would not want to get out. It is also connected to Pornhub. It is connected to the incels, Andrew Tate. And it is connected to crime families, the Church of Scientology, the Mormon Church, and many other groups, including the newer investors, which are corporations who are getting on board with this technology, and all of that is connected to the NASDAQ. So that connects back to Wall Street, Donald Trump. And now somebody on the headset saying hedge funds, okay? So when you start to really look at it, you are looking at a grand plan to sacrifice and biohack humanity, dehumanizing them, transhumanism, and they're sending out through all of their corporate agendas that AI is not advanced enough and there is nothing to worry about. I am here to tell you the complete opposite. The more information we have, the more we can do what we have to save an entire race, a human race. And when I am in these systems, on the front lines, through their microchips, through their implants, I always was going bigger in my thinking. And when I lost hope in my own country, I was looking at it like I am on the front lines for the world. And that is how I saw myself, because I knew I had to go bigger than whatever this was. And so that's where you really are tested in your faith. and looking to a higher power. And at the same time, you're also watching the darkest, most evilest people going behind the veil and infiltrating the sacred, infiltrating the divine, and battling it out in probably one of the most intense spiritual battles of our lifetimes. Now, when I really would try to like dial this back, okay, and really understand like how somebody can be this evil to do this to anyone, to have to monitor your thoughts, even programming your thoughts, to the point of imprisoning you through a mind prison, mind reading technologies, meaning you don't have any private thoughts anymore. You have teams that are a part of your private thoughts. And that is linked to Meta's mind reading technologies. But just know that shortly after one techie develops these technologies, which are really weapons, they are selling them just as fast. Mark Zuckerberg sold Meta for $28 billion earlier in 2024. A criminal operation is a moving operation, which means it is very hard to track. So until we really understand this enemy and just how evil they are, they will have people on the front lines who look and appear very trustworthy. But just know behind them lies somebody who is dark as F. I am not trained to be in any type of central intelligence. I am not trained to be in any type of military. I was sacrificed and just fighting and surviving for my life. I was doing it in my own way, and I had enough information at that point in time to know that I could not trust many people who are around me. In fact, probably all of them. And when I started to move up the military ranks and was like earning my stars, I could sense there were people coming in that were not okay with that. People were coming in stronger and stronger to take me out. If I can just put it into any type of perspective for you all, my life became like the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, okay? Where it's like you're up against one team, two teams. When you start really, quote unquote, kicking ass, okay? The teams triple double. You're going, it turns into hundreds of teams. So when I tell you that it probably started with one system on my head, I am now up to like, 80 systems on my freaking head. And my day-to-day, by the hour, goes from, I can't even tell you. Like, it's like, I'll go from crime group to freaking military to, and they're all dark groups. I don't know that there's anyone here that's like of the light, okay? If you're in these systems, I don't feel that there is anyone here of the light. I think there could be people trying to figure it out, but I'm not like convinced that there are people that are really here figuring it out, because I can look at the state of our country and say we're in a crisis. That's just common sense. And again, that goes into the cover-up teams. So there's about 20 cover-up teams, and that is not mentioning the other groups involved that are paid off to frame you and set you up. So those teams include pedophile teams connected to Tiny Hands, Donald Trump, and that is part of the Manhattan Elite Network, secret societies. There also are the covens, the holy covens, which are connected to the secret societies and the satanic rituals, which include many celebrities. Every single secret society is connected to this metaverse. I believe the goal was to create a one world order with their cryptocurrency, which essentially sacrifices human lives through the data mining of the human DNA. This is the stuff no one wants to get out, but Donald Trump is pro-crypto. he knows what this is. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Him and Putin are besties, okay? They're the ones that infiltrated our country hand in hand, and they did it through this technology. So I want to tell you something about these groups and their practicing of satanic worship. They feel that if they come out and warn you first, that then they will not suffer the karma. So many of them will come forward and tell you what they are doing or what they are working on. And they will also act like they are heroes. For example, they will come forward and pass certain human trafficking laws. But on the back end, they have already developed a human trafficking weapon that is far more dangerous, that you can't see to the eye. It's worth more. It can connect right into Wall Street. And about every day around 4 or 5 p.m., I am on the black market getting auctioned off. People don't want you to know this information. I have a lot of distractions going on too. A lot of people crossing behind me. It's all by design. They have the technology to program humans now. Programming your life. They can program anything. Every day I am pulling energetic, invisible metal and technologies off of my biology. It is exhausting. It is a full-time job. And I know if we had a working FBI, these companies' business licenses would have been seized right away because they are not weapons contractors. They're technology companies. And I also know their bank assets would have been seized. And I've reported them. I also don't think it's a coincidence that in the same time frame that I felt like I was a beta lab rat for Neuralink, I got moved across the country to California from New Jersey, which is not far from where Donald Trump's golf club is, to the exact town of Tesla. I did not know I lived not even a mile from Tesla for over a year and a half, guys. And I wondered why my police department was unresponsive when I contacted them and went in person twice. The misinformation out there around Donald Trump is disgusting, and it makes me want to puke. He is a businessman at the end of the day, and he is really good at lying, and he has top of the line PR teams. Not only that, but he has foreign monies going into our news. They infiltrated every news organization. Rupert Murdoch, owner of Fox, is married to a Russian who has connections directly to Putin. And yet, everyone out there is going to believe the person on social media that has the millions of freaking views, which is also by design. Okay? So, we have to start using our brains at some point and looking at the facts again. And they're right in front of all of us. And they have been for a long time. I just have to say that the reason I moved up in the ranks is because I didn't listen to anyone. Ever. I never listened. And they were telling me to do the opposite at all times to save my life. I never, ever listened because my intuition and my psychic abilities would already show me who they were. I could send white light to anything that was coming after me and really find out who was running the operation behind them. And as I moved up the ranks, I was able to see other information as well. To put into perspective what I've been through, I think what summarizes it is against all odds. Because these people will act like they are your best friends and for you. That's how dark they are. And they are literally your contract killers. And I learned very quickly that if I listened, it never really got me anywhere but closer to the enemy. And that was exactly what their plan would be. So my advice to all of you is to not listen. And that would go against a lot of the traditions of our own military as well. But when your country is under attack, sometimes you have to just do what you know is right. And that was other messages that I was getting around 2023. So you always have to listen to your guts. And I remember there was a former CIA spy on YouTube putting out a video saying the complete opposite. He said, never trust your gut. And I was like, what is up with this guy? What is up with him? I can tell you, maybe I could have made my life a little bit easier if I tried to walk the line a little bit better. But there is something in me that has higher integrity and ethics than that. And I physically am unable to do it. And I've been like that since I was little. I have rules in here. I'm supposed to always have my nails done. I don't ever have my nails done. My nails always look like crap. I am supposed to shave my legs every day. I'm supposed to work out. I mean, I have all kinds of rules that are on me. And you don't follow those orders and they take things away from you. So I have to deal with that on top of everything else. And not only that, I am in one of Donald Trump's and Putin's digital sleeper cells, which I had sent out a video that talked more about that. And part of that is a prison cell where you are watched and you do not have any privacy. And the intention is to humiliate you. So if there's anything wrong with your body or anything going on, they are there watching you, and there are all kinds of douchebags pointing out all of your flaws. They are watching you go to the bathroom. They're watching you wipe yourself. They are doing the unthinkable, and that is just all part of the torture and the humiliation rituals that they put people like me through. The abuse I have gone through would blow your mind, because not only that, but they have access to your body physically through these technologies as well, which is through a cloning avatar system. And a lot of that has yet to come to the forefront, but they have the ability to basically send you bioweapons through your own biology and infiltrate you physically in another dimension through some of the newer interdimensional warfare. Some of you have left really good comments on my part 1, talking more about the dimensional aspects of this, and that is absolutely true. They put you in different dimensions, so you can't access certain people, you can't get to where you need to go. And that is all part of them infiltrating the sacred. That was part of Elon infiltrating the Stargates with CERN out of Switzerland. A lot of money went to Elon from Russia. A lot of money has gone into Trump and this warfare on U.S. soil from Russia. Also, Saudi Arabia is another one. And this is the information that's not going out in the newspapers every freaking day, which should be going out every single day. And if Christopher Wray was a true patriot, he would have been on a microphone day one telling us what was going on. I think that goes for the same for Merrick. And I will sit here and defend Joe Biden just because I know that he is a victim of the same exact warfare as me. When you have presidential duties, I feel that you in some way would have to have some type of protections, and also making sure your military is delivering the correct information. And the top ranking general under Joe Biden was appointed by Donald Trump, which was General Milley. And that goes the same for the FBI director, which is Christopher Wray. So I will leave you guys there. I would love to hear your feedback on that. I feel like I've said too much as per usual, but I don't know how else we get from A to B at this point in time, because I feel like there has been a break in the chain of command. So I think at this point in time, we just have to keep shining the light and talking about it And so the right information gets out. The correct information gets out, not the freaking propaganda paid off information that has been getting out to the masses. And we need to start aligning on the actual truth of what's really been going on US soil and globally through these billionaires. I will leave you guys there. Thanks again for all of your donations, for subscribing below, for your comments. I really appreciate it. I'm sending you guys so much love and blessings, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.